Now I would like to invite Mr. Arun Tanksali. He is the chair of IEEE TEMS Bangalore this year and is the CTO and co-founder of NearX. Now I would request Mr. Arun sir to deliver the welcome address.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sarna. Namaskara, namaste, and good morning. That invocation was a beautiful way to start this wonderful day. Thank you, Mr. Lakshmi. It is my immense privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to this Indian Language Symposium. Professor Rao, our distinguished keynote speaker for the day, a doyen of digitizing Indian languages and a giant on whose shoulders we stand today. Dr. Ajay Kumar, the head of artificial intelligence and language technologies at CDAC, Mr. Bindu Madhur, the chair of our own IEEE Bangalore section, distinguished speakers, and each of you who have joined us early on this Saturday morning to further the cause of Indian languages, a warm welcome to each and every one of you. IEEE TEMS Bangalore has created this event in association with CDAC. IEEE, as you all know, has a focus on advancing technology for humanity, and TEMS is one of the societies within IEEE which focuses on the broader aspects of innovation, entrepreneurship, and how technology intersects with society. It is this last part of technology and society intersection that has encouraged us to bring work on the symposium and create this. The last year to 18 months have been so just share screen have been particularly challenging, as you all know, and what it has done is apart from all the known visible challenges, has created digital divide. There are multiple causes, and I'm sure there are many well-known challenges like poor connectivity and so on, which are being well debated and addressed as well. But there are more subtle and potentially bigger challenges in the fact that a lot of content and services continues to remain in English and not accessible to the larger population. In today's times, when everything, whether it's education or banking or shopping, access to government services, or even the simple act of getting a life-saving vaccination is now online and digital, not having information accessible in local languages, in languages which the citizens are comfortable with, is going to prove a big barrier. There are many causes, I'm sure, for the current inadequate representation of Indian languages in the digital media. But I believe, and we think that awareness of what is already available, what can be done, the tools and methods that are already possible, is probably a big challenge. And we hope that today's event will play a small part in increasing that awareness and helping bridge that gap. It's not just a social element that that we need to support Indian languages. 90% of internet users in India prefer to consume content and services in Indian languages, according to a Google study. Clearly, that's something which we can all relate to and appreciate. The same study has an interesting statistic as well. That graph in the middle that shows how many people are searching for the word translate on Google. Clearly, there are plenty of people who are getting content in one language and want to get it in some other language, and that's why that huge surge in looking for translation tools or translation services, and that, in my view, indicates there is this huge amount of pent-up demand that remains to be addressed. It's not just a social reason or a cultural element that we need to start supporting Indian language. I think there is a solid business reason as well, and which many of the participants here will appreciate. Over the last few years, over $600 million was invested in Indian language-focused startups in India. And I believe it's actually closer to $1 billion. It's just that I didn't have a suitable attributable source for that number, so I'm sticking to the 600. But that gives a sense of how much potential is there for addressing new users, delivering new services, and hence there's a lot more beyond just the social or the cultural element in supporting Indian languages. Once we start making services and content available in Indian languages, whether it's the ability to compose a simple message easily enough, or to have rich interactions in language that people are comfortable with, or using voice as a medium of interaction, enabling services for Indian languages is going to be absolutely critical for all of us. Today, we have some of the top experts in the domain speaking to move us all forward on this path. First, I take the opportunity to thank all the speakers for consenting to be a part of this event today, and also for having shown extreme flexibility through all the changing dates and rescheduling that has happened due to the pandemic. So thank you very much for agreeing to be part of this session today. We start with the section chair, Mr. Bindu Madhava, whose encouragement and tremendous support, both personally and through the section, has been instrumental in creating the symposium and addressing, he will start with addressing the audience. Then we followed by Dr. Ajay Kumar, who is extremely passionate about promoting local language and has left no stone unturned toward that goal. And CDAC has been a pioneer in pretty much all of Indian language computing, and it's great to have the head of language technologies speak to us and talk to us about what's possible today and what's in store ahead. We then have a much awaited keynote from Professor Rao, who was quite literally the very first person to create a digitized Indian script several decades ago, and knows the history of its evolution by actually having created a part of it. We then have Bharat Raj from Samsung R&D talk about text input innovations. Mobile devices are arguably the primary drivers of the connected Indian citizen, and simplifying text input is going to be a big step in making information accessible. As you all know from personal experience, most messages that you get on WhatsApp tend to be forwarded if they are in the local language, and if you try creating one yourself, it's not exactly easy. And Bharat will talk to us about the kind of things that are helping make things better there. Then we have Dr. Anubha Singh, the Vice Chancellor of Alliance University, who talks about the national education policy and how it can influence the adoption of Indian languages and the opportunities it throws up. Ms. Shaili Goel of Microsoft talks us about things which are available today. Right? There are plenty of things that businesses and governments can do to make existing content and services more accessible to the population in multiple Indian languages. And she's going to talk to us about what's already doable and what we can actually start using maybe immediately after this session. While we talk about what's possible, right? There are many things which we can do. There are plenty of things that have moved ahead, but I think there's still a long way to go in the adoption of Indian languages, which is why we're all here. The mainstream or the bigger languages with a lot of visibility, there's a lot of activity happening, but we are a very, very long way from making even a small dent in the many languages which are maybe having lesser population or are part of the larger thousands of languages and dialects that our land is blessed with. So we have Professor Prashant Kumar Ghosh of IIC and Mr. Raghavendra Bhatt of Intel talk about the efforts in collecting data and in standardizing efforts to help in further evolving the digitization of Indian languages and hastening that process. We also have 3 workshops subsequently. We believe that it is important that it's not just understanding or building awareness. We can actually go back from this session today with real life skills that we can use and implement immediately after. And that's kicked off by Mr. Vanitya Koratkar from CDAC, who will give a bird's eye view of language computing basics and the available that you can use right now. Ms. Disha Agarwal of Microsoft will show you how you can create a conversational AI chatbot in Indian languages in real time, and she actually you can follow her while she's doing it and do it yourself. Microsoft has also very generously provided 50 promo codes for Microsoft Azure of $50 each, approximately 3,700 rupees, for each of you to experience this technology firsthand and follow along on your own. So how these promo codes can be accessed for each of you, I think the information will be shared in a few moments. You can use these vouchers in the afternoon session and actually participate in building your own chatbot. Finally, Mr. Srinivas Raghavan of Navana Tech will demonstrate how voice navigation, a potential game changer in the adoption of Indian languages on mobile devices, can be added to any app in really short order. As we head into the Independence Day celebrations next week, I'm sure today's talks and workshops will give everyone actionable insights, as well as an understanding of what more needs to be done. We have a truly amazing lineup of speakers through the day, and I urge you to make the most of these sessions. As we go through the agenda, a lot of interesting topics and plenty of insightful discussions that can be had. and I really encourage you to participate in that. So finally, I join our very passionate organizers for this event, Mr. Yatindranath PJ, Dr. Pushpamala S. from IEEE TEMS, Colonel Nath, Mr. Chandrakant, and Vanite from CETA, in welcome you again to this event. So a wonderful day ahead. Over to you, Sahana.
Thank you, sir, for the warm welcome.